Amara here with Millennial Moonchild, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about minimalism and what it means to me. I feel that minimalism has become this sort of fad and buzzword. If you go on Instagram, for example, and search the hashtag minimalism or the minimalists, you'll come up with these beautiful, picturesque Instagram accounts that have these filters on their photos, and you have these white backgrounds with white furniture and white bed sheets and white linens and things like that. And minimalism is so much more than, a fad and a buzzword. Additionally, it becomes sort of this thing where people only with privileged backgrounds have access to minimalism, because it seems like an investment into these white pieces of furniture and these expensive white bed linens and all of that. And minimalism is really not about that at all. So, however, minimalism, rather than a fad and a buzzword, is actually a way and culture of living, to me, to not consume more than you actually need to. So things like capsule wardrobes can be a part of minimalism, but it's definitely not a necessity at all. So, Cleo, no. So minimalism was actually introduced to me by my boyfriend, my partner, a few years ago, in that he practiced minimalism. He didn't say it in a way that he wanted me to be a minimalist, he just kind of talked about it a lot. And so, for example, my boyfriend is somebody who doesn't own a lot of clothes. I live on the East Coast in a temperate climate where we experience all 4 seasons. And so me, for example, I own clothes for the summer and I own clothes for the winter, including things like coats and boots. My boyfriend, on the other hand, does not. He wears the same thing throughout the entire year. He actually doesn't even own a winter coat, because according to him, he's never outside for very long. He just goes from his warm house to his warm car to a warm building, and so he doesn't even own a coat. And so while that lifestyle, at least being that extreme, is not for me, at least not at this point in my life, that is just how he lives and embodies minimalism to him. I did watch the documentary on Netflix called Minimalism, a documentary about important things. And the documentary was definitely very eye-opening. It talked about the fashion industry, for example, and how the fashion industry is intentionally made to entice us to buy clothes. They're made cheaply, so we have to buy more of them. Sales come out every week. And when you think about it, that's true. Anytime you go into the store, no matter what day it is, whether it's surrounding a holiday or not, there are always sales. Whether it's a sale from the store, there's a coupon to use, or there's a clearance rack in the back, there are always sales to get you to buy. And how we continue to consume all of these things, but it's really not ever bringing us any sort of happiness or contentment. And so I do recommend the documentary. It kind of shows different ways people embrace and embody minimalism, and it was really inspiring to kind of think about the ways that minimalism can apply to me. And so I want to talk a little bit about how I embrace minimalism. So minimalism to me is really just about intentional living. Intentional about the things that I buy, the things that I eat, the people that I spend my time with. And so the 4 main areas for me that I've embraced minimalism have been, my clothing, my food, and my housing. And that's 3 things. So 3 things, how I've embraced minimalism. First thing's clothing. So for clothing, I really only buy what I need and love. So if I'm looking for example, I might need, a few slacks for work. I'm a teacher, so I need to dress business casual. Any slacks that I buy, like now, I'm definitely trying them on. I never used to try on clothes in the past. Make sure that they fit me the way I want them to fit. I feel good and confident in them, and then I will buy them. And then to keep my closet pared down, I usually give away at least 2 things that I'm not wearing for every item that I bring into my closet. Another thing is that I've given away clothing that I don't love. So anything that I don't really love and feel good in, I've given it away. I think in retrospect, I probably would have done better selling my clothes. I could have, recouped some of that money, but at the end all be all, somebody's benefiting from something that I'm no longer utilizing. And so clothing is a big thing for me. One thing that I've done is that I haven't bought a coat, a winter coat, since college. And the reason is, in college I bought a North Face long down coat. It was like $300. I might have been like 21 or something like that. And it was really expensive at the time. But I'm 28 now, so I've had that coat for 7 years. So you want to divide 300 by 7. It's, you know, a little bit more than, a little less than $10 a year that I spent on it. So 10 times 7. Kidding, a little less than $100 per year that I spent on that coat. And that coat is perfectly fine. I throw it in the wash whenever it needs to be washed. I dry it in the dryer, even though it's probably supposed to be dry cleaned, but it's been fine. And I've been wearing it. I only have one winter coat, but because I bought a really quality piece of clothing, I haven't had to replace it. And if I do have to replace it one day, I probably will buy another North Face or something of similar quality. Other things that I've cut down in order to kind of continue to live a minimalist lifestyle is things like cutlery and dishes. So at one point in time, I had 4 sets of everything, especially when I got my first apartment. 4 sets of small glasses, 4 sets of tall glasses, 4 sets of little forks, 4 sets of big forks, 4 sets of big plates, 4 sets of little plates, and the list goes on. And I've come to realize with one person, I don't need 4 sets of everything. And it was a pain in the butt whenever I moved to a new apartment to pack up all of these things and then take them out and put them up, and then I have tons of dishes to wash, because then I'm tempted to not wash my dishes every night because I have another set that I can pull out. And so I just said enough with the foolishness, and I gave away half of those things. So now I only have 2 sets of glasses and 2 sets of plates and 2 sets of forks, and it's just been so much lighter feeling in my kitchen, so much lighter when I'm making food, so much lighter when I'm packing food for work. And so I've let all of those things go that were excess that somebody else could benefit from. Other things that I've cut down on are books. I'm a bit of a book hoarder, and it got really, really bad. And same, I would have to move all the books all the time. My biggest set of books were my grad school textbooks. I am a teacher, and so I had a ton of books on education and reading and writing and stages of development and things that I now can Google and I don't need the books for. And so what I did was I sold what I could to Amazon, got a gift card, used it, and then the rest of them I gave away to a local thrift store. And so I gave them away because almost every piece of information in the books that I could possibly need, I can find on Google, or I can ask my principal, or, you know, network with other people who are teachers who might know what I need to know. So books are another thing that I've given away. I do have a set of books here that are kind of pleasure reading, and as a teacher, I don't get to pleasure read much. And so, and as somebody who loves book, I do like to feel books in my hand. So while I do have a Kindle that I utilize, I still do like books. And so what I think I'm going to do in the future is utilize my library card more, so that I'm not constantly traveling with books or have books, but I can have books that I borrow. I'm a little hesitant because there have been times that I've wanted a book from the library and somebody else had it and I didn't want to wait, so I bought it. But that's just something personal that I'll continue to work on if I feel like I need to. Another thing that I've done with minimalism is that I have really been intentional about the amount of food that I buy. I live by myself. I live with my cat, who you saw jumping in my lap earlier, and really just buying what I need, especially when it comes to fresh produce, only buying enough food for the week. So I'm somebody that does bring my lunch to work every day. I teach in a Title I school, which is kind of in a part of the city that's a food desert, so there's really not a lot of options for food, so I bring my own food. And so if I'm going to have pieces of fruit, I buy enough fruit for the week. I know that I want to have an apple every day as a snack. I buy 5 apples for Monday through Friday, eat them all, then go grocery shopping that Saturday to buy 5 more apples or 5 more bananas or whatever the fruit might be for the week. I do buy some of my snacks in bulk because it's cheaper. So I have a Costco membership. For example, I have a snack called somersaults, which are delicious. They're made of sunflower seeds. And the serving size is 10 pieces and there's 20 servings. That will last me a month. 5 days a week, 4 weeks in a month is 20 days that I'm bringing lunch and 20 servings that I will have of those somersaults. So I really want to make sure that I'm buying things for that I get the best value, and then buying things that I'm also going to use and finish before it goes bad. And so that's been something that I've also am embracing minimalism with. The last thing, which actually kind of surprised me, was I embraced minimalism when it comes to housing and the amount of house that I need to live in. Growing up, I thought that I wanted, the 5-bedroom house with 4 bathrooms and, maybe like an acre of land. I can have all these gardens and things like that. And the more that I think about it and the more that I've come to really understand and embrace minimalism, I know that I will not need that much space, regardless of who I marry or how many kids that I have. I won't need 5-bedroom, 4 bathrooms. So I currently live in a house in an apartment that is, I believe, less than 600 square feet. And when I first got the apartment, I actually remember thinking that I thought it was too small. But as I've embraced minimalism, I realized that I don't need that much space. And so for me, filling my house with things that I love and keep the energy in there feeling the way I want it to feel. So for example, not buying a lot of home decor, just buying what I really love. So one thing that I've done actually in the past 2 weeks is I used to have 4 pillows on my bed, in terms of 2 like regular pillows that I sleep on, in addition to these like 2 little pillows, meaning there were 6 pillows on my bed. I don't need 6 pillows. And so I threw away the 2 that I didn't need because they were old anyway. And I'm actually in the process of considering whether or not I want to keep these small pillows. I mean, they look nice, they're cute, but I don't need them. And when I go to sleep, I actually throw them on the floor because they're uncomfortable to sleep on. So, just really being intentional about the things that I put in my house, the things that I utilize. I do buy things that I love, as I said. So I have a Himalayan salt lamp back there. I have a candle back there. I have a dream catcher on my back wall. I'm not sure that you can see that above my bed. And so I buy things that make me feel good and make me feel light and just have the kind of energy that I want in my home. And so, yeah, that's minimalism to me. It's not about these perfect pictures and having no furniture. Definitely not. It's definitely just more about living intentionally and living with things and surrounding myself with people that bring me joy, that make me feel full of love and give me high vibe energy and feeling. And so, the Black minimalists actually just had an article recently about whether minimalism is a glamorization of poverty, which is interesting because kind of as capitalism catches on, to minimalism, as they do with every kind of fad that seems to come by, people are seeking to gain kind of, money on this and kind of, marketing things that are, supposed to be minimalistic, but they're expensive, whether it's, expensive behind furniture or like these expensive, like white bamboo sheets that you really don't need. Like, use what you have and give away what you don't need. And that's for me what minimalism is. So, yeah, I'm curious to know what minimalism is to you. Am I off base? Do you embrace minimalism, or is it something that you think is ridiculous? What do you think?